The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Chopping up Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing? Shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, there's the round town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Mock the truth while live on air light. Chopping up Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing? Shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, that's the round town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Mock the truth while live on air light.
What is up, YouTube? It is Dolly back in the house. Now, I don't know if my notifications went out because we did just release a video, but thank you for the guys and girls that are jumping in the room. We have some things to go over that my videos didn't cover because some of this news just broke today. And those videos y'all seen today, I actually made last night. So they really didn't contain any of today's information. So we're going to go over that right here live with you guys. You know, the kids were last seen the day before they vanished with a family member. All right. More people are coming out speaking that are close to the family. And we're going to discuss all that stuff, plus watch some new videos, news video footage dealing with the case of little Jack and Lily Sullivan. But first, of course, I'm going to need your DNA on file, right? Just in case. You already know if you go missing or if you're brand new here. Guys, if you go missing, I'm going to track you down like a bloodhound. But I'm going to need you to leave your DNA all over that like button. Just push it, smash it, headbutt it, do whatever you want. And I want to take a second to thank everybody. We hit 66,000 subscribers today. Actually, over that. All right. So we're on that road right now to 67,000 people. Now, I can't do it without you. So if you're watching out there and you ain't subbed up yet, make sure you sub up, ring the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Feel free to share my ugly face. Now, as I was saying, a lot of information came out today. The mounted police pretty much said that the kids were seen in town with a family member. Okay. But the day before they disappeared, because of a lot of us guys thought that these kids had been missing for days, which actually was not the case. Three Sides, thank you for gifting those $5 memberships. That is awesome of you. You go missing, I'm going to come find you. Thank you for boarding the Dolly train. The Blessed Express is what we call it around here. AGM88, thanks for becoming a member. Oh, you were gifted. Okay. Blessed has become a member. You guys are awesome. I'm glad you could be here with me tonight. I'll give y'all a little bit of time to get into the room before I really get going on the story because, like I said, I think people are trickling in because I don't believe my notifications went out. I'm not quite positive, but hopefully they did, or some of you guys are seeing that I'm live. So we don't know exactly what family member they were with. Some people are alleging that it's Malaya. Is that it? Malaya? I always mess her name up. Mother had seen them the night before, allegedly. So some people are thinking the kids may have been off with Malaya's mother. But I don't think that's the case. I mean, that's what some people are speculating. I think it was one of Daniel's family members, and that's why the police are looking for dashboard cameras, trail cameras, ring doorbell cameras off of the road that the kids live on. From 2 days before they went missing, all the way up into the day they went missing from noon to noon. All right. So why would they want to know this? Is it so they can see what vehicles were in the area? But here's the thing. The police didn't tell us what vehicle to look out for. So we don't know what vehicle the children were seen in to be on the lookout for it. But if they're saying if you have any footage of that area between those times of April 28th to May 2nd, they want you to turn that over to the RCMP. Okay? And hopefully somebody out there, maybe truck drivers. Thank you so much, and hello to you. Glad you could be here with us tonight, all the way from New Zealand. So I think the Mounted Police, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, they're doing a fairly good job because, I think they're giving these updates that they usually wouldn't give because there is pressure from the internet, right? The local media there in Canada, they've been doing good in the surrounding areas, like right there where it happened. But outside of that, not really a big deal. And like I said, here in the United States, of course, 2 missing kids, strange circumstances. This would be huge, huge news. And it really hasn't hit the news here in the States. Like when I'm watching the news, I don't hear about Jack and Lily here. Now, I'm a pretty good ways away. Maybe bordering states near Canada may have a little bit of this news. But where I'm at here in Virginia, we haven't heard anything, or no national news channels that I watch have mentioned Jack or Lily even one time. So I believe there's a lot of people out there that don't even know who these kids are. And early on, they were ruling out were these kids in the woods. They pretty much ruled it out after day 7. We know just a couple days afterwards that this happened, that they seized Daniel's phones. So, these days when they say they seize your phone, they don't actually take your phone. They just take it, scan it, give it back to you. A couple days after they take his phone, they scale back the search. And they come out and say, hey, we want to search areas of interest closer to the house. The kids, we don't believe the kids are in the woods. We're scaling the search back, which is rare, unheard of in any search for a missing kid case without there being some type of evidence that points them in a different direction. And I believe that evidence was found, and it may have been some locations that this phone pinged. They knew he was in certain areas, and they decided, hey, we want to check out these areas because we don't believe these kids just wandered off. Now, of course, today they came out and said the kids, thank you, 49ers girl. They said that the kids were seen with a family member, but they didn't specify what family member, which creates speculation. Right. So they were trying to clean up some of the speculation about these kids being allegedly gone before the time that they allegedly said to be missing. Right. Because a lot of people thought they went missing Tuesday or that Wednesday because they didn't show up to school Thursday. But Thursday they were seen. They were fine. But the crazy thing is this. On Thursday, the parents kept Lily out of school because apparently Lily was sick. Okay, but she wasn't too sick to be seen out shopping with a family member. at a store. So the whole she was sick thing sounds a little made up. Or maybe she did have a cough that morning and they didn't send her to school when she started feeling better. But here's the thing, why didn't they send her to school Friday if she was feeling well enough to go out shopping Thursday? And how come? This is a major red flag to me, guys. Major, huge red flag. When Daniel and Malaya told the story, they never mentioned anything about the kids going out shopping with any family members. They didn't mention feeding them dinner that night. They didn't mention giving them a bath, brushing their teeth, putting them to bed. Nothing. Their whole story starts Friday morning when they wake up and the kids are gone. They gave us no detail leading up to the event. They just gave us the event. I woke up and the kids were gone. Don't know what happened to them. They just vanished. We ran around. But it seems a little strange. And then in that, we have inconsistencies. Constantly, the story has changed from the very beginning. I done heard 5 different stories, depending on what media and what dispatch audio that you listen to. Linda, thank you for being a member. That the story has changed. And one thing we know, guys, 100%, stories don't change. Now we got family members coming out the woodwork that haven't seen the kids in honestly years. The father hadn't seen the kids in 4 years. Jack is 4 years old. Okay, so basically, the father don't know Jack, but his mother has been coming out doing some talking, saying that Malaya at some point cut her off contact with her and the kids. Now, before I get too much into this, because some people are lawsuit happy, they like to sue and things like that, and we want to make sure we don't, say anything that's not right and open ourselves up to defamation or anything like that. I want to give my warnings. Dolly Vision is for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact, people. It's just my opinion. Completely satire. The callers tonight, which we will be taking calls, their opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on the Dolly. Everyone, and I mean everyone, that means you, Daniel, Malaya, her family, everyone is innocent to proving guilty in a court of law. And as of right now, guys, none of these people have not been charged with anything. So all these people are innocent to proven guilty. And the biggest one, and I mean the biggest, if you break every 10 commandment, you break everything in your house, don't break this rule. Do not, and I mean whatever you do not try to be Dolly at home. Okay? I am not responsible for your well-being. Something bad happens to you, you're on your own. Don't try to be me. The last person that tried to be Dolly ended up a DoorDash driver and crashed. Okay, we can't have that. I can't have that on my conscience. Okay, I cannot have that on my conscience. But the big question remains for the last 3 weeks: where are these babies, and who knows what? Okay, there's rumors coming out today that another YouTuber has spoke with Malaya's mother, and she allegedly has lawyered up. Okay, now when we hear about mothers that don't come out and say anything, not looking for their kids, and now we're hearing she has lawyered up, that is not a good thing. Okay, this, guys, I don't want to be, doom and gloom here with you, but I have a really strong feeling that this is going to end really bad. And there was people coming in here. I think it was Jimmy M came in here. He said, "Yo, Dolly, I get Leilani vibes from this girl." Okay. The only difference was Leilani, when she was going through that, she didn't lawyer up. Okay. She didn't lawyer up. She just sat there and waited to go to prison. But in her mind, She didn't think she was going to jail. And I truly believe that because I was talking to her and I said, Leilani, you're going to go to prison. And she looked right at me and said, no, I'm not. And I was like, look, you better come talk to me. This is your opportunity to come out here and talk to me, because if you don't, I'm not going to write you when you go to prison. Right? She was like, well, you ain't going to write me there because I'm not going to prison. Well, where is she at right now? She is in prison. All right. And I knew what she had done. And it's no different than the situation that we are in right now. And now listen, innocent people do lawyer up. If you was accusing me of things, I would probably lawyer up. But the police really haven't accused her of anything. Now, there's rumors that social service is involved, and social services have been involved with her kids in the past. All right. That apparently there's some rumors that at one point that Lily was in foster care. I'm not for sure if this is right before Jack was born or right around that time frame. Not quite sure. And these are just rumors, guys. And she had some trouble with what I call CPS. I know it's called something different there in Canada. CPS is Child Protective Services. It's basically the people that look after kids. Some place they call it DCF. I think somebody says it's CIS or something. I don't know. Just protective services for children. Have been involved with this mother before. And we're seeing, now the biological father's mother's out there saying that she cut off contact with the grandmother. Now, if the father ain't having no contact, and you're starting, maybe, I don't know. I don't know why she would cut off contact with the biological grandmother. Maybe she didn't like her son's a criminal, and maybe Malaya didn't want nothing to do with her son, and it cut, sometimes you got to cut them completely off, like cut your mother off, cut him off, cut everybody off, because it didn't sound like he was a very good father anyway. Basically, he ain't been around in 4 years. He don't even know Jack, right? Don't even know his kid. So, and he was too busy getting in trouble. And, usually when you're in trouble and you're on house arrest and things like that, it's because of drugs. And you don't really want to put your kids in that type of environment. So I can understand it. But did she go from one bad person to another bad person? It's like you jump out the skillet into the fire. All right. It happens. And women, sometimes, I hate to say this, your pickers be broke. Everybody wants the bad boy until you stuck with him. And you taking care of him. He ain't got no job. He's doing all the drugs. You know what I'm saying? Really what you need is a decent man. But I guess women sometimes find a decent, hard-working man don't pay him enough attention, right? We see this a lot with men that work their asses off to provide for their families. Sometimes they get treated like crap and their women cheat on them, because I know this one thing women need. You guys need a lot of attention. Okay. A lot of attention. Now, if you can work your ass off and give your woman a lot of attention, you are good to go. All right. But as soon as that attention slacks up and there's somebody else that's willing to do the things you ain't doing, they forget all about the bills and all these things. Sometimes, I ain't saying none of my viewers would. You ladies are great. But we know this type of stuff happens, right? Nina, congratulations, Dolly, on 66K and growing. Thanks to each and every one of you guys. All right. So that road to 100K don't seem that far away. What are we? 34,000 people away from 100K. And then I'm quitting YouTube and never coming back. I'm kidding. That is just my start. Once I hit 100K, I can officially say I'm a YouTuber. I still tell people I'm a YouTuber now, but it'll sound better when I say, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I got 100,000 subscribers. My channel's doing pretty decent. It sounds better. Right now, you say you're a YouTuber, people think you're a bum. Okay? Oh, you fucking bum. Get out my face. Get out my way. Right? They'll try to cut you in line. It's no respect, like Rodney Dangerfield would say. There's no respect in being a YouTuber. But when you say, hey, I got 100K, it just has a little bit better ring to it. Then they go, okay, oh, you're a YouTuber. You know, my kids always, that's what I get a lot. When I tell people I'm a YouTuber, they always tell me the same thing. Oh, well, my kid wants to be a YouTuber. Do I look like a damn kid to you? Right? Good for your kid. Now, you know, get the hell out my way. Okay, get the hell out my way. That's the same thing everybody says when I tell them I'm a YouTuber. I was talking to a lawyer before, and he said, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "I'm a YouTuber." He said, "Do you get paid for that?" And I said, "Yeah, you'll get paid. You know, you make AdSense revenues off videos." And he's like, "You gonna have my money?" And I was like, he didn't even know YouTubing was a thing. There's just no respect in it unless you're Mr. Beast, which, you know, Mr. Beast is a billionaire. He's a billionaire. Now, I'm nowhere even, you know, in the realm of that, but I'm just saying it seems like you would get a little respect, just a little tiny bit of being a YouTuber. But oh, hell no. Nah. People act like you might as well be holding a cardboard sign, standing on the side of the interstate selling Girl Scout cookies, right? Is that bad? Is that washing windows and shit? Like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber, right? No respect, guys. No respect. Somebody in this family is the culprit. To me, this is like a big game of Clue. All right. Me and PJ, we went out to one of these murder mystery dinners where there's 100 people in the room. One of the people is the alleged killer, and the crime is committed in the room, but you don't know who committed it. And out of all these 100 guests, you walk around and you talk to people, and you got to figure out who the murderer is, right? You have the clout now. Once I hit 100K, Jen, maybe. But right now, nah, it's still not the same, right? So you got to walk around and you got to figure out who the murderer is out of these 100 people that you're having dinner with. And, you know, you just walk up, ask them, you know, simple questions. You ever told a lie? You ever been to jail? You know, just different things. What do you do for a living? And then you got to figure out the crime. So the last one me and PJ went to, I was able to solve the crime, right? Little clues that I picked up on. And I guess this is from the years of being a true crimer. Because if I hadn't solved it, it wouldn't have looked good. Okay. It wouldn't have been good. The only true crime YouTube channel in there, because I talk to people, and I don't solve the crime, right? And then the people at my table thought I was the person because I was a true crime person. They're like, "Oh, you're a true crimer. You're here at, you know what I'm saying?" And so once I thought they were suspecting me and they would ask me things, I would give them answers to make them think I was the killer. Because then it was funny to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, these people actually think it's me, right? And so right before the end, I didn't want them to be completely wrong. So I said, "Look, I'm not lying to you guys. I had an ink pens or Dolly Vision ink pens, and I handed them to the people sitting at the table with me. And the lady said, I already looked up your channel. He ain't lying. He is a YouTuber." Right? So I didn't want them to guess me. So then they were like, "Who do you think it is?" And I was like, "Well, look, I'm going to give y'all a couple options, you know, who it may be." And I gave them a general 3 people option, but one of the 3 people out of 100 was the person. But I knew it, I guessed it, and because, you know, it'd have been kind of silly if I'd have walked away from there as a true crime person and not be able to figure out the fucking murder, right? And I was thinking I better be right because, you know, I may be in the wrong game. You know what I'm saying? If I can't figure this shit out. But I did figure it out and I guessed it. And yeah. So I'm pretty good at these things. I would say I'm pretty decent at, you know, seeing the little signs and the little clues of what, you know, has led these police to this. And I believe the first clue came from Daniel's phone. Okay. Because, right, like I said, shortly after that, they scaled back the search. They started pinpointing certain locations they wanted to search. Now more information is coming out. And like I said, we got friends that are talking. And we spoke on this earlier. Did Jack and Lily have autism? Now, the mother and Daniel, PJ believes they've been communicating this whole time. Now, me and PJ, we work pretty good together. We kind of feed off of each other. And, we look today and she has activated her Facebook. She is liking all the pictures that Daniel is posting. Okay. So, and she believes they've been talking this whole time because their story is pretty much scripted. All right. That they both know that they're both in on this together. Because at some point I was thinking, well, maybe Malaya don't know. And then PJ steadily reminds me, well, she's in communications. Why would they script a story if they wasn't in on something together or knew something and they're trying to cover it up? So the couple getting nervous, I would think that if I was them, I would definitely be nervous. And if Malaya is lawyering up, how long before Daniel does? He's already out there saying he's passed a lie detector test. He knows everybody's accusing him. Now, I can understand if Daniel was lawyered up because everybody's accusing him. The whole internet, is accusing him. A lot of people still accusing Malaya, but more him, suspicious of him and his family, especially me. Right? I've always been suspicious of them. Now, I don't have any proof that these people did anything, right? Nothing. I just have theories. I have my speculation and what I believe to be occurring. Something wrong with the mom. Now, like I said, the grandmother's wanting to come out and talk now of the biological father. We got Malaya's mom speaking to YouTubers from Canada. I checked out their channel. It's a smaller channel. I forget the name of it. If I remember it, or somebody knows, y'all can put it in the chat room. And they had spoke to, I believe, Malaya's mom. And, she's the one saying that allegedly that her daughter has lawyered up. I do believe that everybody on that property, and some people are telling me this. Now, I'm not positive of this, but some people are saying the brother does not live there. Now, I always heard he did. Now, like I said, in the beginning, there was a lot of information that wasn't accurate. And a lot of people are running off of rumors or off what the news heard, and the news is saying it, so people are repeating it. But there's people now saying the brother don't even live on the property. I don't know. I mean, I originally heard that the brother and the mother lived in the Winnebago in the back. Okay. The Breaking Bad meth lab. It's a Crying Shame podcast. Okay. Thank you, Sunshine. Thank you so much. I knew you were here for a reason. Okay. The Crying Shame podcast. So they're in communication with the biological mother of Malaya, right? I'm correct on that. I don't want to misspeak. So the family's speaking a little bit. And like I said, friends and teachers and other people have come out and said that they don't believe that Jack and Lily have autism, that Daniel and Malaya have said this to build themselves an alibi and to take the blame off of them from the very beginning. And that is the scripted interview. The only one we heard of Malaya. Okay, she actually said, oh, my kids will talk to anybody. They'll get in the car with anybody. And these kids have not been diagnosed from any medical doctor with autism. Now, the last time I looked at Daniel and the last time I looked at Malaya, neither one of them looked like experts in the field of autism. Okay. Hate to say it. I mean, they look like, normal everyday Joes, but they don't look like doctors. Okay. The teachers are saying contradicting things. Some people are out there saying that they were nonverbal children, which is absolutely crazy. The biological grandmother on the dad's side saying that the kids were nonverbal. That's not true. Of course, the teachers say that they're talkative, that Jack would talk to the bus driver. He would try to get his attention and throw a shoe at him, that he liked the draw, this don't sound like what's being described. How come people are painting two different pictures? The parents are painting one picture, but the teachers and the school bus drivers and friends of the family, they're painting a different picture. That Lily's outgoing and likes to play. You know, nobody else is saying these kids are nonverbal. You know, and people would say, well, if they're nonverbal, that's a sign of autism. But they're not nonverbal. That's the thing. Everybody, the only people saying that are the people that are lawyering up, the people that are demanding lie detectors tests when everybody in the country knows a lie detector test ain't accurate. Ted Bundy passed a lie detector test. So now he has something in common with Ted Bundy. They both passed a lie detector test. Thank you for joining. All right. You're helping us get closer to 67,000, baby. 67,000. So now he has that in common with Ted Bundy. All right. These things are not accurate. You know, if you are a compulsive liar or you're a narcissist and you believe your own lies and you're not nervous that you think you're smarter than everybody and you're getting away with it, you won't be nervous to take a lie detector test and you would pass it. So just because he says, well, I passed a lie detector test, that don't mean shit. So did Katie Proudfoot. Did anybody change their mind about Katie Proudfoot? No. Nobody changed their mind. She passed. Hold on a second. Call coming in. Most likely this is going to be my kid this late at night. Nobody else calls me this late. And it is. Hold on.
Hello, Father.
You were live on the internet with me.
It's 12 p.m. You're still live?
Yeah, I went live late because I was out getting stuff for Ava's boxing tomorrow.
Oh, I called to remind you about my eye doctor appointment on Wednesday. Don't forget.
Okay, Wednesday I'm taking you to the eye doctor.
Yeah, probably should be at my house at like 12.
Oh, okay. Have you heard about the missing kids all in Nova Scotia?
I don't even know where Nova Scotia is.
Okay, it's in Canada.
Oh, no, I haven't heard about it.
Okay, so that's what I was telling people, that people here in the United States have not even heard about these two little missing kids.
No, I definitely haven't.
Okay, well, I love you, kid. If you
Love
need anything, I'll take you Wednesday. Not a problem.
Okay, well, you have to take me. It's not an option.
Not an option.
Somebody has to take me to the eye doctor, and you're the only person.
Okay,
here,
you could drive blind.
And then crash my car and die?
Your car has lane assistance. It almost drives itself.
Yeah, but I still have to have my eyes open.
I know, I'm
It
playing.
doesn't stop at red lights by itself.
I know, I'm playing. I'll take you to the eye doctor. I love you, kid.
Love you too. Bye.
All right, peace. Now, you know, as a parent, I would lose my mind if something was to happen to my kid, right? She's 25 years old, okay? And I think here's the thing people don't realize. Some people think that, you know, especially young parents, they think they're parents to their kids at 18. No, 18, that's just when your parenting begins. Then you become the psychiatrist, the ATM, their Uber, every other thing they need, their rent payer, move their furniture, anything you can think of, your job gets bigger, right? When Tiff was a baby, that was easy work, okay? Easy work. Now that she's older, and she don't ask for little, you know, back when she was a kid, she liked Polly Pockets. Does anybody remember the Polly Pockets? Dora the Explorer, Hannah Montana. She would ask for, you know, I want a Polly Pocket, you know, it's $7, $8. No big deal. Here you go. Here's a Polly Pocket. Now it's dead. They didn't pay me this week. Something happened with my check. I need to pay my car insurance. It's $500. My roommate didn't pay his half the rent. We got to kick him out and get a new roommate. But in the meantime, I'm short $900. You know what I'm saying? Dad, my taxes are due. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no more of the $7, $10, you know, a little Hannah Montana doll, Barbie doll. It ain't no more of that. They don't hit you up for the little small numbers anymore. They hit you up for large amounts, right? And Tiff is slick, so she won't never ask for two things at once, right? She's smart enough to know better. What she does is she asks for one thing, All right. And then she knows she's my only kid. So she gets the one thing, right? And then as soon as she gets it, she's like, oh yeah, by the way, I need this. You knew that when you asked for the first thing. All right. But you didn't want to mention it because then I might have said no to both. But now that you done got one, you're trying to squeeze in the other. Okay. So any parent out here should know that. And even at 25, if something was to happen to my daughter, I was just joking with her about the eye exam. I would lose my shit. Okay. Completely freak out. And don't put lies on my name. I don't do that. Okay. All right. All right. Miss, I just changed your oil. What else did I do for you this week? I done a lot. I done lost count. All right. If you had to pay me back everything you owed me, you would be working for the next 20 years for me. Okay. To the time you was 45 years old. So, but look, I would freak out if something happened. And Tiff's a prime example. She's a young lady here and she ain't heard of Jack and Lily Sullivan. She didn't even know where damn Nova Scotia was. If you would have asked me I knew it was in Canada. Okay. I don't know exactly where in Canada, right? But I knew it was, part of Canada, Nova Scotia. I was like, okay, they're in Canada. I'm not super familiar with Canada. Toronto, I know is right there by Niagara Falls. And I'm learning. Okay. We're learning a little bit as we go here, us Americans that ain't never been to Canada. But either way, these kids are just as important. And I cannot believe they're not getting the media attention that they deserve, especially under the crazy circumstances that's going on. 2 kids just don't vanish in thin air. And, the information that came out about the footprint at the beginning of the driveway, not true. They found 2 boot prints and they were 10 feet from the house, and that was behind the house. Where was the mother? Where was the brother that morning that these kids allegedly slipped out this door that made no noise and vanished in the thin air? And let's be honest, if there's no kids in the woods, the big bad wolf didn't get them, okay? Didn't huff and puff and blow the house down. There's no signs of abduction at all, almost completely ruled out by the police. Now, they won't rule it 100% out, but they ruled it 99.8% out. The boot prints were found by Daniel behind the house. And of course, his actions. Now, you would think if you didn't hear the kids, he said he immediately ran out, jumped in the car, took off, went looking. Well, why didn't you go knock on the door of your mother's camper? Why didn't you look in the shed? Why didn't you look around the house or in the woods right there around the house before you jumped in the car and took off? Chicken Queen, thank you so much for joining up, because he knows that these kids never went into the woods. I do not believe that these kids made it home Thursday night when they were off with a family member shopping. Now, if they were with Malia's mama, Malaya, I keep calling her Malia, Malaya's mom, then possibly they made it home. But if they were off with Daniel's mother or brother, because all they said was family member, I don't think these kids made it home, because not one time did they say, hey, well, the kids came home from shopping. We fed them dinner. We gave them a bath. They brushed their teeth. We laid them down. We read them a bedtime story. I went to bed, overslept, woke up, and they were gone. We didn't hear that. They skipped that whole day. Like, almost like that day never even occurred. That's not normal. That is not normal. And then for both of them, when they come out and talk to the media, to say things that are so similar. Yes, sunshine. But here's the thing. They haven't talked to that woman in over 4 years. Okay. What does she know? She knows information from 4 years ago. We need information from 25 days ago. So, I mean, the grandmother's going to say, well, you know, what's she going to say? Her son is basically a piece of shit that don't take care of his kids. Like, lady, you need to sit down. Okay. Y'all didn't care enough about these kids. They ain't been paying child support. So the biological grandmother on the dad's side that's on house arrest and a criminal, who cares what she says? How is that relevant to this? That I know what she's going to say. She's going to say Malia cut her off for no reason and didn't want her seeing the kids. Because a lot of people think, well, when you cut that she was cut off, it's because she didn't want the grandmother to see there's abuse on the kids. But here's the thing. There's pictures between that time frame of the kids, and the kids look perfectly fine. They look healthy as shit. They look like they're doing good. She looked good. Right? What changed? I have no clue. I have no clue to what changed. But let's look at the most recent update coming out from the police. Let me pull this up for you guys. Let me share this. Let me share this screen with you. We blow this up. Share screen, entire screen, audio. Okay, here we go.
Began as a frantic search for 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan has settled into a silence that grips Lansdowne Station.
It just blows my mind that there's absolutely nothing.
RCMP are now offering new information to the public of the siblings' movements before they went missing.
Based on details gathered so far, we have confirmed that Lily and Jack were observed in public with family members on the afternoon of May 1st.
Investigators are appealing for more video.
Investigators are now asking anyone who has dash cam footage or video along Garlick Road between noon on April 28th and noon on May 2nd to contact Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit.
They should have brought camera footage to the RCMP almost immediately if they lived in such a close range. I don't know why people would wait 3 weeks later. Or
during the initial search for the children, 160 people scoured 5.5 square kilometer of forest with drones, dogs, and aircraft, but that's since quieted down.
I know they're working hard and they have all the technology in the world to use. We all want answers.
Investigators have now reviewed hours of trail video and followed up on more than 355 tips. Over 50 have been interviewed, and RCMP says it plans to speak to others. While official searches have scaled back, the children's stepfather keeps going, retracing ground already searched.
I want them home. Trying to make my way through every day when the only support I have is my family. Malaya's not here. My kids are not here.
Todd, the stepfather tells me that despite major crimes being involved, he's been told that this investigation is being treated as a missing persons case. He also insists that he's been cooperating with the police, including providing a polygraph test, which he did, and he says he passed. Todd?
And the RCMP has said that they have spoken with some 50 individuals. Thank you, Hafsa Arif, tonight for us in Westville, Nova Scotia.
Okay, so you see right there,
trail video.
He says he passed the lie detector test. All right. Now we know these Ted Bundy passed the lie detector test. Don't mean you're telling the truth. Okay. And he butchered women, as many as he could kill. Now, is it possible that somebody else is involved in this? If it is, then my suspect meter is broke. Okay. Mab says, I could pass a poly test. Yeah, but you didn't do it. If you didn't do the crime, you should be. If you failed, Mab, it would worry me. Okay, it would worry me. And I don't think you're that close to that part of Canada anyway, right? I'm pretty sure I could pass one because I didn't do nothing, right? So, but some people commit crimes and can still pass these lie detector tests. And I don't know why the scripted story, why inconsistent statements, why are you saying things that the teachers and the bus drivers, you know, why are you describing the kids differently than other people, right? Now let's check out this other news on this case, right? That's going down. Let me share this with you. We blow it up. And this is the latest.
Welcome back. We want to return to our top story. We learned today the two Sullivan children, aged 6 and 4, were seen in public a day before they disappeared.
You're a good dad, Dolly. I love it when Tiff calls you on air. Thank you, Mayberry. Thanks for being here with us. I try to be all right. You know what I'm saying? She don't realize how good her dad is. You know, one day she will. One day she will.
We've reached Robert Parker. He is the warden of the municipality of Pictou County. He is in Central West River. Warden, good of you to join us. We won't talk specifically about the case because I know that you're not privy to him.
I learned a Canadian word today, a boat. Okay, a boat. Now, a boat is something that sails on the oceans or the rivers. You get in a boat, okay? But to Canadians, that word means about, okay? For any Americans out there wondering about a boat, there's no boat involved in this, but he does say a boat. Canadian word of the day, a boat. All right. I was like, a boat? What the hell is he talking about, a boat? Then I realized he was saying about. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I kind of, a boat, eh? Just picking on you, Canada. Just picking on you. I still love all you guys. Not all Canadians. I am, and I don't say that. Okay, sure you don't.
Parents were pushing abduction. I think that's because they know who took them. They were never in the woods. I'm Canadian and I know how impossible the woods can nothing to be found.
Yes, chicken. And I know all about that. I'm kidding. All about that. All right, all about. I'm still in it. I'm still in it. Now, every time's a boat. You know, little land yacht, little something. I'm just picking, just playing. I probably sound redneck as shit to y'all. So, a little about these kids. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. But thank you for your donation to the channel. Dolly gotta eat too, right? I gotta pay that light bill that's blinding me right there in the face.
Information on this, but what do you think the sense will be in your community tonight when people hear even the slightest bit of new information from the RCMP? How is it received?
I think any bit of new information is wanted and needed. One thing that's short in this sad affair is good information. And when good information isn't available, then false information or whatever people decide on their own, that gets spread around. So any bit of information is good, but it doesn't tell us a lot. It tells us that little Lily and Jack were there the day before they disappeared, which is what was assumed all along and what was told by the parents, that they disappeared that morning. So it sort of lends some credence to that, I guess, and takes away some of the stories of, well, they hadn't been around for a week. And
I like when people up north say khakis. All right, like they say like khakis, but they're saying car keys, right? Khakis.
and things like that. But it's, there's still a long ways to go. And I think the RCMP are struggling, to find any little bit of lead they can. And so they know the public is hungry for answers. So they're letting out whatever they can. So I don't know if this information was available before and they just hadn't let it out, or, if it wasn't available and whatever made it available now. I'm not sure of the facts on that.
Yeah, and something in that release today, police are asking for video for a very specific time from noon, April the 28th, to noon on May 2nd. How many people would have, say, surveillance on their properties or on their vehicles in that rural area that you might be aware of?
I was up to that site today for another.
Kelly, just to answer Kelly's questions, Kelly says, Dolly, have you gotten any good leads on your tip line? Kelly, I have gotten the most silliest stuff on my tip line. Nothing legitimate, right? Nothing solid. No, I wish I had, honestly. A lot of it is people that didn't take their meds or people that drank their meds. Too much of it, right? Too much of it. Now, I haven't gotten anything good, to be honest with you, Kelly. I haven't gotten one thing that I thought this needs to be turned over to the police. Now, I've gotten people call in with theories, and people call in from that area and say how the last caller was wrong, or you believe in this stuff, but you're going in. I've had people, give theories, but nobody solid that knew anything that would mean anything in this case, which is sad. I was hoping that reward would help because, usually in cases like this, we see family members offer reward, or other people, Crime Stoppers, but apparently Canada don't issue rewards anymore. I don't know why. I see number 500 on the likes. We got 1,200 people in the room. So that means 700 of you guys didn't like this video. And it's absolutely free. Don't cost you anything. It helps spread awareness. It brings you good luck, right? When you like this video. So let's take a second, all right, to hit the like on the video. And once you do that, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to hit the like on the video, and then I want you to shout out in the chat room where you're watching from. But take a second and hit the like button. It helps the videos in the algorithm. It helps bring awareness to the case. And everybody in here, right? All 12 of us, we want 1,200 of us. We want Jack and Lily found. And this is the way we can do it, by spreading awareness. And you can help me spread that awareness by liking the video. More people see it. It helps the channel grow. It helps bring awareness to these. So the next time a kid goes missing, we have a bigger reach. And that's what it's about, guys. I don't get paid for you to like the video. I hate sounding like a used car salesman. Look, hit that like. It has low miles, one owner. Okay, it'll get you there. It won't break down. I got the Carfax on the like button. But I just do that to help it in the algorithm. It ain't like it really benefits me personally. Like, now, if I got $1 for everybody that liked it, I'd be screaming, like the video, like the video, like the video, right? But I don't get shit, okay? All it does is help bring awareness. So like the video, and then once you do, shout out where you're watching from. I see Milwaukee. I hate that place. I love the people of Milwaukee. I just hate Milwaukee. I see Australia, West Virginia, Knoxville, Tennessee. I don't even want to try to say that. New Jersey girl here. Dolly, you're amazing. Thank you. It gets out there for others to see videos. Pittsburgh, PA. I see Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. Thanks for being here. I know all about Roanoke Rapids. Been there a bunch of times. Alberta, Canada. Thank you, Alberta, for being here with us. Indiana, boy. All right. Thank you for being here. Nashville, Tennessee, Maine, Georgia, Ohio, Nova Scotia, South California, New York State. All right. We got people all over the country. Woohoo. 66K, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Newfoundland. Is that right? Is that how you say it? New Mexico. I hate living in Roanoke Rapids. It ain't that bad. Y'all got some pretty little lakes and rivers. And if you like, kayaking and the outdoors, I think Roanoke Rapids is a beautiful place. Now, that paper mill or whatever y'all got out there smells like pure tea dog ass. But other than that, it's a pleasant place. What's the number? I want to talk to Dolly. I'm going to put the phone lines up in just a minute. I talk for 1 hour before I open the phone lines. Okay. I have like an hour intro, and then I usually take phone calls for the next hour. That's how I do it.
other reason, but there's a very sparse population there. Like there's some homes along the road. So there may be a chance that people do try to protect their properties now with cameras. So there may be a chance that there would be something, but they are going back then, according to that, about 5 days before.
Used to live right by.
So, yeah, they're looking for anything, I think, right now that would give them some idea. I think they've searched the woods so hard. RCMP seem firmly convinced that they weren't abducted. So that doesn't leave a whole lot of options here. And so, like I say, people are coming up with their own options. So I'd like there to be more information released, but perhaps the RCMP can't do that for their search reasons.
What? Yeah. So you would like concrete information, because I imagine there's a whole misinformation that's swirling around and people filling that void with what they think might have happened.
Yeah, guys, if you live near a paper mill, like the girl that said she's from Roanoke Rapids, I had some friends that lived in Roanoke Rapids, so I went there all the time. It's not really super far from where I'm at. But that paper mill, oh my God, it smells like death. I don't know what I think it's because they soak the trees, but it is the most horrible smelling thing like ever. Okay, like ever.
That's exactly what's going on, and it's not healthy because some people are being accused, I guess is probably too strong a word, but of being implicated that may not have any guilt at all of anything. But people are, like I say, searching for answers.
Thank you, Tammy.
I think they're becoming frustrated at this point is the best way to put it. It's not to the point of anger at the RCMP or at anybody else, but they're frustrated. They know. Okay.
We're going to go squirrel for a minute. You know how I said something about the paper mill, right? It's smelling terrible. I still live in the same place, but there used to be a dog food plant up the street. Hey, Nova Scotia. Thank you for becoming a member, Nova Scotia hippie. There used to be a dog food plant up the street, and they use horse in dog food, and then they would disintegrate what was left, like cremate it or whatever the hell they did, incinerate it. The whole area
too nasty
smelled like dead corpses. Okay, it's the worst. It smells worse than a paper mill. Paper mill is bad. I mean, it's terribly bad. Dog food plant, oh my God, it smelled like rotten corpses. And then one night, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, the plant caught on fire and burnt down. All right. Yeah. Now, I don't know if it was an accident or somebody did it on purpose or what, but I know the plant is gone now and the air don't smell like corpses. You could smell it literally from miles away. It smelled like, I hate to say it, decomp. It smelled like dead bodies. It smelled like you went into the zombie wasteland and there was rotten corpses on the street. It smelled that bad. And these days you don't smell it. Of course it's not there anymore. So we good to go. But as soon as you got off the exit, all you smelled was death. And somebody says, Dolly, have you seen Summer Wells's brother up for adoption? Yes. What is the world coming to when they got your kid up there for adoption? Like, looking for his forever home. I thought they were trying to get rid of a puppy. Okay. They done made a whole video about this kid, Josie, Don Wells and Candace Wells' son. And I watched it sitting at dinner. And I looked over at PJ and you know what I said. What do y'all think I said? I said, can we adopt him? That's what I said. I was like, can we adopt him? He'd probably make a good Dolly Jr., even though he looks grown, right? And I was like, at this point, they could have put this kid in a cage and sung "In the Eyes of an Angel" and just had him shaking, right? Like, that is a human being, not a puppy. They got a video, honestly, like they're going to adopt you a puppy. He's looking for his forever home. He ain't looking for a home he can just move in. He's looking for his forever home. And that was pretty weird to see. Okay. who put this out? I guess the people that run the adoption agency. He's 14 years old. He's a big boy. He wants to be a biologist. If he could have a YouTube channel, he would do it on gaming. Healthy looking, clean, he'd make a great Dolly Jr. I told PJ said no, right? I think, it's hard for older kids. She was like, why would they do this? I was like, listen, the younger kids probably were easily to find a home for younger kids, right? But when you get older, nobody really wants you, right? It's hard. These kids usually go into foster homes and they don't get adopted. And then when they turn 18, they get thrown out on the streets. So it's hard to get somebody to take a 14-year-old kid that's 6'2", 220 pounds. He's bigger than me. He looks like a grown damn man, right? And I feel so bad for the kid. I honestly do. But somebody out there watching, if you want a son, he's 14. He looks like a smart kid. He's going to come with a little bit of baggage. I mean, you talking counseling and probably for the rest of his life, dealing with, the death of his sister and all the stuff that he's been through with his family and stuff like that. And I know Don and Candace Wells, they have seen it. It's heartbreaking, guys. It really, truly is. And I pray to God somebody comes along, some good people, and they take this boy in. He deserves for the rest of his life to be, or at least till he's an adult, for it to be a good life that's a child deserves, right? He's been through a lot. And he's the oldest of the three. Wow, it's sad. You need a Dolly Jr. I know that's what I told PJ, but apparently PJ is saying no go, right? But that was the first thing I said when I watched the video. I looked right at PJ. I was like, can we adopt him? I mean, it'd be strange, but there's people out there that can give this kid a good home, a lot better than he was living in before. And, and they asked him what he wanted in parents, and he just said, somebody he could talk to, somebody he could watch movies with. And it's almost enough to bring a tear to your eye, right? Like the kid just wants to be a normal kid. That's it. But like I said, I guess the lifestyle we lead is not the lifestyle that needs to be, a 14-year-old kid. We're traveling a lot. We're going in and out of town. We're covering these court cases, and we're dealing with things that like happened to him. We don't want to, re-traumatize the kid, and he's just constantly hearing about these things that he don't need to hear about, right? So somebody that's a loving, caring parent out there, if you got room for a child, he's up for adoption. I can't even talk. Adoption. And I just never seen him do that. Okay. Like put a kid out there like that. I have never seen that. The word of kids out there telling about the family he's looking for and how he's a good kid. And it's strange, man. I don't know. It's almost like, how you see the animal shelter come on and they tell you about the pet and they're petting it while they're telling you about the dog or the cat. It's had such a bad life. It's a little skittish, but it's good with kids. It was like that. His parents do want him. His parents are not fit to have him. They won't quit drinking. They won't stop boozing. Drugs involved. They've given the parents chances, and the parents won't comply with CPS. Okay. CPS has tried, and they've tried. At first Don and Candace were trying, and then I don't know, they just feel like, I can tell you how Don and Candace feel. They feel like they're asking too much of them. All right. That they're doing as much as they can, and the state just wants more and more and more, and don't really want them to succeed and get their kids back. If you ask me, did Don and Candace Wells love their kids? I would tell you absolutely. Without a doubt in my mind, they love their kids. Are they fit parents? That's where we run into a problem. Okay. It ain't that they don't love their kids, is they will not stop what they're doing for their kids. They won't make sacrifices for their children, which they should. Okay. And I think it's more Don than Candace. Don is kind of set in his ways, and it's horrible. It's horrible, right? They could, if they would have did right, cleaned up their act, they could get their kids back. They could have. At this point, the younger ones have been adopted. Josie's up for adoption now. And I'd never seen nothing like it. It kind of blew my mind. I was like, I didn't even know they did that with kids, made videos like that. It just reminded me of like a info commercial for dog rescue. You know, it's like that. It's like, but you know what this kid's been through. I do. You know, I know the conditions he was living in. And listen, you know, kids love you unconditionally, even when you're not the best parent. Even, you know, they don't, when you're that young, you don't really understand it. You think that life's normal until you get around some normal people. Dolly, where's the video? I don't know. I will have to post that video or show it tomorrow. PJ's in bed, and PJ is the one that pulled the video up for me. But I'm sure there's other YouTube channels out here showing that video. Hopefully they got counseling for those kids yet. Hopefully, right? Hopefully. But I don't want to get too squirrel, because some of you people may not know about Summer Wells. But if you don't, you may want to check that case out, because that is the case that got me into true crime. It's the most heartbreaking case out of all of them. And Summer Wells never been found. It's been 4 years. Beautiful little girl. Beautiful smile. And I think the internet just fell in love with this little girl. And the lifestyle that she was living wasn't like, they were poor, right? And not only were they poor, but they were spending the money. Don made good money. He just wasn't spending the money right? Like he was doing drugs and drinking and messing with prostitutes. And wasn't they, you know, and the kids kind of just took care of themselves. They're Tennessee, like country kids, you know, running around playing in the rain, barefoot type kids. Probably could have had better supervision, you know. And some people were saying that Don was smoking with Josie, like he was smoking weed and stuff with him. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And it all started with a CPS call, just like, you know, we're dealing with out here in Nova Scotia. The CPS was involved over a BB gun. He was allowing Summer and the boys to shoot these BB guns, and Summer was climbing on the roof of the house. Okay. It's really not that high, believe it or not. I mean, I ain't trying to defend Don Wells, but the kids were being kids, climbing rope swings, and they were climbing on top of the house. They were shooting BB guns, and one of the neighbors reported it to the social services. There's only two neighbors. There's the people that run the junkyard, and then there's Jody Sue Brown. So I always thought that Jody Sue Brown is the one that called the social services on Don and Candace. I've always believed that. Okay. And then Summer goes missing. A lot of people allege because Summer was being SA'd, or she was, you know, this or that was happening to Summer. I mean, I don't know. I just know shortly the next day, Summer was gone, never to be seen again. We're 4 years ago, and still no Summer Wells. I've looked for this kid more times than I can humanly count. I've went through more sticker bushes, more weeds in the mountains, everywhere I could think of, droning around lakes, everything I could think of to try to find this little girl. And I had never been to Tennessee before. Now I've been to Tennessee like 20 times, and it's all behind Summer Wells. So I still to this day pray they find this little girl, and that her brothers have some peace and some sense of a normal life. You know, that's all you can hope for. And I think when this all comes out in Nova Scotia, it's going to be real similar to Don and Candace Wells. other than I believe that somebody's going to go to jail for this. There's going to be answers where there wasn't answers in Hawkins County, Tennessee. I think Tennessee has the worst police force in the history of police in our whole country. If you said, Dolly, what is the worst state to go missing in where your ass ain't going to find nobody? I would say Tennessee. If you're going to hide somebody, which I pray to God, y'all, nobody ever does that, do it in Tennessee. You ain't going to get caught. Okay. If every police there put all their brain cells together, it would probably make 5 or 6 brain cells. I swear they seem like they're that fucking stupid. And that is sad to say because we don't see stuff like that here in my state. And I don't know if it's because, they don't have good detectives or, what. I mean, it has to be that. And it's like that all through Tennessee. It ain't just Hawkins County, Hendersonville, Tennessee, where Sebastian went missing. Police dumb as a rock. He couldn't solve a math problem. You can be like 2 + 2. They'd be like 7. They just couldn't get 4 to save their life, right? They just did. I don't know why, right? And they won't. There, when you get that good old boy mentality, a lot of people down south got that. They won't ask for help. They're too good to ask for help. So instead of these police saying, okay, well, this is TBI, yes, absolutely, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Instead of them saying, okay, this is above our pay grade, we need to ask for outsiders to help, they don't. And then they try to solve this stuff themselves, and they can't. It's just not in their wheelhouse to do. They don't have experience. It seems like all the kids that go missing, they would from, you got Holly Snap, you got kids that just vanish from there. And this ain't animals snatching these kids. These are predators snatching these kids. These are people, and there's a lot of corruption and a lot of, like I said, good old boy mentality that goes down in these towns, and cases never get solved. And maybe it's something to do with the backwoods, but you don't hear a lot about stuff like this in West Virginia. That's the hollers and the mountains and things. But Tennessee, they can't get nothing right. Okay, can't get nothing. I hate to say it, and I know people in Tennessee have been like, damn, Dolly, how you going to do us like that? It's absolutely the truth. Everybody that's in this room from Tennessee, I pray to God that you never go missing. Okay, because as soon as I hear somebody missing from Tennessee, I count you as gone. Like, yeah, they ain't never finding you. You might. And you got to remember, when you're in the backwoods and in the mountains, and that it's the beginning of the Appalachian Trail and stuff like that, there's so many places to hide a body that they're never going to find you. So you just vanish. That Tennessee has swallowed more people up than you can even think of. And I don't really know Nova Scotia, but I'm praying that that's not the case with these kids, that these police do a good job. You got to give the police some credit, right? Because listen, there's a lot of armchair detectives out here like me, right? But how many people have I put in prison? None. Okay. Usually good detective work, and the police are the one that make these arrests, bring these charges on people, put these people in prison. So I'm never going to act like I'm smarter than the police. I'm not. Tennessee police, yeah, okay, maybe them dumbass backwood cops, right? But as far as anywhere else, them cops are way smarter than Dolly, right? The only cops I think I'm smarter than is the Tennessee cops. They a little on the slow side. I think they're on the spectrum. Okay, I think they're on the spectrum. I think they're more on the spectrum than these kids that these people are saying on the spectrum. So let's open up the phone lines. I want to hear from you, beautiful people, but I had to get that stuff off. I talked for a little while. I went on a little Dolly rant right there. So give me 1 second. I will open the phone lines. Okay. Phone lines are now open. Let me put the call-in number on the screen. Banners. Here we go. All right. Now, tell me what you think about this new stuff that's coming out. What family member was with the kids? Do you think the kids made it back home that Thursday night? And with this new stuff coming out, does that change anything? Is Daniel and Malaya still responsible? Somebody hung up. That wasn't even me. All right. Try calling back. Yep. Definitely. The caller's opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on the dolly.
People have tried very hard to find the little ones, but they're hoping against hope that this just doesn't become one of those cold cases that kind of goes away. So they want to keep attention on this issue, I think.
Well, it's been nearly, a month now since Lily and Jack Sullivan have been missing.
Coming up on a month.
Yeah. How are the emotions?
Well, like I say, frustration I find now, the sadness when...
Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
It's Rita from Dexter.
Hey, Rita. I haven't talked to you in a minute.
Yeah.
How's everything
I've been
going?
I've been off about a month. Summer's been sick.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah. But I've been watching here and there and seeing what's going on with the case.
Okay.
So I've been paying attention. I just haven't been able to be on every time.
I can understand that.
So, but yeah, I wanted to call you, check in, let you know how Summer's doing. I know this about Jack and Lily. But I wanted to let you guys know that Summer might be getting an operation on her stomach. We don't know yet.
Okay.
On her stoma. So we don't know. She goes up there the 17th to the hospital. And I wanted to let you know, what was going on with her.
Okay.
I'll be posting on the Facebook for PJ to see it too anyway.
All right. Well, I hope everything goes well for you guys. We're praying for you.
I know. And I wanted to call in and let you guys know what was going on with her. Truth and Justice, I'm watching from Missouri too. I'm in Dexter. I see that. I've been watching this Jack and Lily stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this is awful. This is just awful. I would have thought that they would have found something by now.
Me too. Who do you think's responsible? Do you think it's the parents?
I think that the parents are responsible, but I also think the other people on the property are responsible too. I think they all are.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm leaning. I mean, they all failed them children that day, if that's the way I look at it. And right now they're saying they were last seen with family, but they didn't say which family, which creates even more speculation.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, because I don't know. There's not only one kid missing, there's two kids missing. It's just that kids don't vanish into thin air, and these two didn't run away. A 4- and 6-year-old didn't run away. That didn't happen.
Yeah,
something's wrong here.
And they've been at that house for 2 years and never wandered off, not one time before, or had any problems wandering off. And then all of a sudden they just vanish. I don't buy it.
Me neither. My sister called me a minute ago over this case. She goes, "Did you know about these kids?" And she don't even follow these. And she heard about it, and she's in Jacksonville, Illinois. And she was like, "Did you hear about these kids?" And I go, "Yeah." And then she was telling me about a baby in Chicago that something's going on with this baby in Chicago, which I'll send that to PJ to look at. But I don't know. That's a whole other thing. But I told her, I said, we follow these cases all the time. I said, this Jack and Lily thing is a mess. And she goes, yeah. She said what I said. They're lying through their teeth.
Yeah,
they are lying.
Yeah, a lot of people believe that they're not telling the truth. They're not being forthcoming. They're kind of scripted.
And I'm Rita. Summer's the daughter, Sylvie. I'm Rita. I'm Mama. Summer's the daughter. My transplant warrior. I haven't been commenting either because the darn phone. Every time you're on and I watch you, Summer steals the phone. So I need the phone to comment. It's not that I'm not here and I'm liking the videos. I'm doing all that, but I don't always get a comment. She takes my phone. She's got to have something to do.
Yeah.
They've got her resting and stuff. But I wanted to touch base, let you guys know I'm very much still here on the channel. I know I just got a lot going on with her, but I am following these cases, and there's something wrong here, Dolly. I hope they find these kids soon and get to the bottom of this mess.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's going to come a lot quicker than a lot of these other cases. Well, Rita, I appreciate you calling in and chopping it up with me. You be good, and prayers for you in Summer.
Yeah, thank you.
Not a problem.
All right. You have a blessed day. I will be watching. Bye,
all right, peace. Dolly.
Hey, how you doing, Dolly? Bill from Illinois.
What's up, Bill? I'm doing pretty good.
Well, that's good. That's good. Health and everything doing real good. You and PJ?
As far as I know, yeah.
Well, that's great. And you had a good Memorial Day?
Yeah, not bad. Everything's been going good on my end.
Right. That's great. It's too bad about these kids that are missing. I watched the interview of the mother and the stepdad, and every time he started his crying, it made me kind of think, because there wasn't any tears coming. He was poking his eyes. He would look up to see, like, if somebody was believing it, if he was making the right gestures to get people to believe him.
Yeah.
Like Dom DeLuise down there in Tennessee, him and Ruth Bussey.
I don't know who they are.
Oh yeah. Crystal DeLuise.
I'm not familiar with it. Not right.
Oh yeah, they got a missing boy. His name's Sebastian.
Sebastian Rogers.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Katie and Chris?
Yeah, Dom DeLuise and Ruth Bussey. Because that one of them last interviews they did, she sure as heck looked like Ruth Bussey on crack.
Oh, I don't even know who Ruth Bussey is. Who the hell is Ruth Bussey?
Oh, she was on Laughing. You'll have to look that up.
Yeah, that may be before my time there, Bill.
Oh, well, his mom looks like Broomhilda. You know who that is, don't you?
No clue. No.
Oh man.
No clue.
How about Snaggletooth Terry?
Are you going before my time? I'm old, but not that old.
Well, he looks like he's a lot older than that. I mean, he's got them snaggly teeth. Makes Bugs Bunny look like a fool.
Oh, I don't know. I had to look it up. I had to Google it. Thank God for Google.
That is true. But I hope these two kids, because two kids just don't come up missing like that.
I agree.
And another thing, that four-wheeler, to me, I looked at those pictures, and I looked at pictures around the house and everything. Man, if that isn't a meth lab, I'll kiss you know what.
I hear you. I mean, it resembles one. I don't know if it is. I think the police have been up in there. So if it was a meth lab, they'd already be in jail.
Well, there was some rumors or speculation that they found a bunch of drugs.
It's a meth lab replica. I mean, for sure. But I don't know.
What loggers do you know that work 1 day a week?
Skinny ones.
Yeah, skinny ones that look like they have meth breath.
What loggers look that small?
Right.
Usually lumberjacks are big ass manly men.
Right.
I'm working on my lumberjack beard now. More homeless. I look homeless.
No.
PJ told me the other day, she's like, you gotta do something with that. You looking homeless. I want to drop you off with a cardboard sign on the interstate. I'm like, all right, I'll trim it up. But I haven't yet. Just let it grow in all white trash, natural.
Right. Look like Chris Proudfoot.
Oh no. Don't even do that to me. Don't even do that to me.
No, there's no way.
I thought we were cool.
You're not anywhere near that.
I thought we were cool before you said that. Now I know we ain't friends.
Oh, now Dolly. No, I said your beard never looks like Chris Proudfoot.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, my man, you be good. You stay safe, and I'll talk to you next time.
Watch out down there in Tennessee, Illuminati and Cletus. You know, they might have another thing going. There've been rumors of them going to court and crying for Crystal. You know how that is, but let's hope that these babies are found and justice does come and is served, because it needs to be.
I hope so. All right, you be good. Peace.
You be good too. Peace, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I pray to God all these kids are found. Like that's the reason we do what we do. And I mean, to me, it don't matter if you 4, 6, or like Sebastian when he went missing 15. You know, all these kids matter, especially when there's people that are supposed to love these kids but hurt the kids. Them are the cases that I tend to follow. There's still, like I said, there's so many missing kid cases. I couldn't cover them all. And when people start talking in code, like, you know, how he was describing Chris and Katie, and we got channels that call them like Edgar and Killer Katie and different things. I can't keep up with that. You know what I'm saying? You got to tell me who you're talking about or I won't know. Dolly.
What's up, Dolly?
Hello. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the bushes here.
You're calling from the bushes?
Yeah.
Okay. What's up
now?
What's up, bush dweller?
So, I'm losing my voice. I forgot until I called. So this guy, the fake crying, what's up with that? Why would you do that?
I mean, I don't know.
Innocent.
That's what it appears to me that he's fake crying. Now, I'm not a crying expert, but to me, it looks fake.
I'm not either, but I can tell you when someone's faking it, and he was faking it.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense.
And the mother didn't even try to fake it. She didn't even try.
No.
Like she couldn't
No,
she didn't fake wipe nothing away or nothing. She just straight up was just like nonchalant of any parent I ever seen missing a kid. I'm like, what the hell?
They're emotionless, and then to have a story, they got their story wrote out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. This is my thing. When I first listened to it, he says, first thing I did was jump in my car and went looking for him. Why wouldn't you look around the house? Why wouldn't you yell for them? Why wouldn't you, if you thought they walked off, go walk off through the fence or where you're not going to drive in your car. What do you think? They're going to be driving, walk 10 miles down the road? That doesn't make sense. That's like driving, trying to get rid of something.
I thought the same thing. And another thing that stood out to me is why don't they mention the night before? They don't mention putting Jack or Lily to bed. They don't mention giving them a bath, brushing their teeth, bedtime stories, nothing. They don't mention nothing. They just start their story Friday morning. But what about Thursday night? What was going on Thursday night? They don't mention it because I don't believe them kids were home Thursday night. They went missing.
They don't have that part scripted because it didn't happen. They didn't have them then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm hoping I hate to say it, like I hope they're like somewhere with family or they're like someone was like, hey, I need a kid. And it's a good person. And something horrible didn't happen, you think, well, did they get into something? And then, you know what? And but two of them,
that's what
don't make sense.
That's the same thing I said. I could give an accident to one kid, accidentally something happened, but for 2 kids, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
and like everybody says, the 4-wheeler's clean. It's weird. Something fishy. I think foul play.
Yeah, I do too. I think the truth in this one will come out, though. I know some of these other cases have been going on for years, but I don't believe this one will go on for years. They're narrowing it down, and I think so far they got more than we know, and they're focusing on the parents. And already Malaya's lawyered up, right? He's took a lie detector test, and I don't think he's far from lawyering up because him and Malaya, they're still in communication, so they're talking behind the scenes, and what they're saying.
They're watching.
They're watching. The police are watching them for sure.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like the Leilani and how everybody thought the boyfriend was involved, but in reality, they were using him to get information.
Yeah, I mean, what if it is something like that? She did it herself, and he was passed out drunk or something. Like,
or vice versa.
What was his name? Danny. Danny was a good guy. Like when it came out in court,
Danny was a good guy.
He was a good dude. He was taking care of the kids better than she was.
Right. But, you know, it might be vice versa. And, you know, once she got away from him, she told the cops, hey, this is what happened. And I didn't mean what I said. This is what happened. And they're just gathering evidence. I don't know. I would hope, being a mom, I can't imagine doing something horrible to my
good
I
people,
just can't imagine.
good people don't think like that. It's the bad people that do. And there's plenty of these bad women out here. There's plenty of women that kill their kids, wake up one day, raise kids for years, and then wake up one day and go, you know what? I'm over being a parent, and then throw their baby in a lake, drown them.
Choose a man over them. I fucking can't stand a person like that.
It happens. It absolutely happens. So let's just pray that there's, you know, still a chance of a miracle and something good happens. But I live in reality. I know.
Amen.
I know it's just a matter of time for bad news comes, but it never hurts to pray for good news.
No, that's right. That's right. And if they're not here with us, I believe they're somewhere better than we are.
Yeah.
You have a good night, Dolly.
You too. All right, you be good.
Peace out.
Peace.
You too.
I seen somebody say Danny was a good guy. Danny, for a young man, was a drunk. Okay. He's, far as being a good person, like to the kids, he was a nice guy to the kids. Thank you, Tiffany, for becoming a member. But he could not control the alcohol. He drank every day. He was a young alcoholic. And it's you know, if he wasn't, he'd probably be, I mean, he's a good dude. He's still into drinking. He worked. He got drunk, passed out every day. Like that was just his routine. But when he was awake, he wasn't abusive. He wasn't mean to the kids. He took care of the kids and fed the kids and all kinds of shit. They weren't even his kids, you know, but he filled in that role. And I think he'd have been a really good guy if he could have battled his alcohol addiction. And look at Leilani. She did everything but ran him over with the bus. She blamed him, still blames him, and he had nothing to do with it. Nothing. He had no clue to what she had done. She's sleeping with the dope man while he's home with the kids. What? There are some terrible, terrible women out here that it's hard to believe, right? It's hard to believe, but it happens. And listen, it ain't just men that are monsters. Women these days can be monsters too. It's like, I remember back in the day when something bad happened, you just knew a dude did it. Oh, this is the dad, the stepdad, the evil stepdad. You just knew it was that. These days, there's more and more women going to prison, and it's unbelievable. And the amount of women that just throw their babies in the trash, it blows my mind. Okay. I remember back in the day when I was touring in the band, we used to tour with this one band, and they had a song, and the title of the song was called Babies in the Trash Can. Right. And I always thought that was weird. I wasn't into true crime then. This is just the metal days of clubbing, playing different clubs. And we had this band that would open up for us. And it had a chick singer, and she had a song called Babies in the Trash Can. I didn't know that that was such a big thing, I guess. And this was years ago, right? People slinging their babies in the trash can. And, but now that I think back to, you know, the good old days and when I was touring the country playing in the band of that song, okay, the song sucked, right? They wasn't the best band in the world either. But I was just thinking, that's a shitty song. That's a weird name for a song, especially coming from a woman, you know, Babies in the Trash Can. But she was a metalhead chick. And I don't know, just that being in your mind, to, you know, to write a song about throwing babies away. Or she knew that, you know, there was women out there doing it, and she wrote the song based on that, you know. But this lady never had kids either. She didn't have kids, and she had a song called Babies in the Trash Can. Thank God she never had kids, right? I'd be worried about the baby ending up in the trash can. So, but all in all, seemed like a pretty decent person. Okay, pretty decent this weird title for a song. I mean, you could have came up with something a little more, less offensive. Dolly, in some states, women can get abortion up to 39 weeks. Now, I don't want to turn this stuff political. All right, I am not trying to get into the I believe that it's your body, but you need to make decisions with your body a little bit quicker. Okay. Is that good? Does that fit everybody's, I believe you have the right to choose what you want, but not when that bitch is kicking and running, you already talking, right? People are trying to get rid of their kids now when they're 30. All right. Like, listen, you should have did that before they were 18. All right. You can't, you know what I'm saying? It's wild. It's wild. So, make better decisions, right? If you don't want to have kids, use birth control. All right. Yeah. That's how I feel about that. There's plenty of, every store sells, condoms and other types of contraceptive. If you don't want to be a parent, what is it? $5, right? And what's bad is these women that use this as birth control. But like I said, I don't want to get on no political stuff. There's different circumstances. Like if you were sexually assaulted or, a family member, something like that. And, I think it's a case by case kind of thing, situation by situation. I do think that, what's bad about this is as a man, you don't get notified. Right. I think that's, because some men want to be a parent, right? Some men want to be, most men don't. Let's be honest. Most men, they're like, all right, go ahead, do what you're going to do, girl. But some, most men want to be parents. I only have one kid, right? So if my baby mama would have did something like that, I'd be sitting here with no kids. And I love my daughter to death, right? So I don't know. I think it should be some lights type thing. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
This is Judy Mack.
Judy Mack?
Never called it. Yes, I've never called in before.
Okay. Hey, Judy. Nice to meet you.
I'm a little nervous. I'm from Athens, Georgia.
Uh-huh.
And I've got a 3-year-old great-grandson.
Uh-huh.
I was just talking to my husband the other day about this case.
Okay.
And I said, how far do you think, if he got out of the house, how far do you think he would go? Because we live on a 60-acre farm.
Uh-huh.
And we both said he may go towards the end of the yard, but he wouldn't go no farther than that.
Yeah, that's what I think too. You may make it a block, but you ain't going much farther than that. You ain't going out of eyesight.
No. And these two little kids, they didn't go that far.
I agree with you. Absolutely.
And it breaks my heart.
So you got 60 acres? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
You can't hide money.
Yeah, but I pay taxes. I have to pay taxes on that.
Oh, okay. All right. Excuses. All right. I'm actually from Georgia too. I don't live in Georgia. Yeah, I'm from Columbus, Georgia, but I live in Virginia now.
I would love to go to Virginia Beach.
It's nice. It's pretty cool.
I would love it. But these kids, I can't get it out of my mind. It had to have been one of the 4 people that live there.
I agree.
One of those 4 people know something.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
And if the police would just get them separated.
And this ain't the old days though. You can't hit people. You got to treat people nice these days. People have rights and shit. Like, it's crazy.
Well, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
I know. That's what I be saying.
We're talking about 2 babies.
Yeah, I know.
Babies.
I know. They should be waterboarding these people. They should be putting matchsticks between their toenails and stuff. I mean, whatever it takes.
You're right. You are, lie to them. Tell them somebody else said something.
That's what I said.
Just to get them to talk.
That might be a Georgia thing. We think alike.
Oh, yeah. We don't play.
Now, if I was alone in the room with you and you wouldn't prosecute me, I guarantee you somebody would talk.
You got that right.
They would talk. That's quick.
Especially when you're talking about little innocent babies.
I wouldn't need but you to give me immunity in 10 minutes.
Right.
and I would walk
I
out.
love you, Dolly.
I would tell you where them kids were at in 10 minutes.
Right. Well, I love you, and I love PJ.
All right.
I love listening to y'all.
Thank
and
you.
I love seeing what you're doing around your house with the swimming pool.
Yeah.
It's going to be beautiful. One day I want you to go out there and film it for us.
Okay, I will. I'm still working on things. I haven't built my tiki bar yet. I'm working on that next. The weather's been bad here for the last week. So as soon as the weather, it's been kind of chilly and rainy. So as soon as the weather breaks, I'm going to start building my tiki bar out there and stuff.
Oh, well, good luck with that pole, because I've got one.
Uh-huh.
It can be a booger if you don't get it right.
Oh, mine's been fine. I ain't had no problems with it. But I clean the filters all the time, and I got different. I even have filters that go in. I got a new vacuum for it. My shit's clean as hell. It's like spotless. I go out there just bored and clean it just because I ain't got nothing to do. I'm home all the time, so it's clean. There ain't a leak.
It'll be easy for you.
Yes. Yeah, it's nothing for me because, like I said, it gives me something to do. So I've been cleaning it a lot. So it's spotless. All right, you be good.
You be good too, Dolly.
All right.
All right.
Peace. Yeah, guys, I wouldn't need but 10 minutes alone with these people. Shit, give me 5 minutes alone, like the Pantera song says, 5 minutes alone, and you give me immunity in one propane torch. It'd be like a Hostel movie. Anybody ever seen Hostel in here? Anybody? Like the German movie where they kidnap people and they put them in these rooms and these rich people go to pay to go do horrible things to them. And once they do, they get a wolf tattoo. So they know you're part of the elite club of orphan people. But it's basically like torturing people. But they do it for sport, right? I guarantee you, Dave, if you said, hey, we won't put you in jail, I walk in a room. Within 5 minutes, I would walk out and tell you where the children are. Okay? As long as you can't put me in jail. Now, if you innocent, you might be in trouble, right? Because if you ain't believable, you're going to talk. You're going to tell me everything I want to know and quickly. And, that's what I'm saying. These days, people have too many rights. Right? I ain't saying that we brutally torture people. But put a little pressure on them. Just like the caller said, lie to them a little bit. The police don't got to tell you the truth. Tell them, hey, they're blaming you. She's blaming you. Get them in separate rooms. Hold them for a little while, because you can hold people up to 72 hours. Let them know that they ain't never going home, because that could be a lie too. You ain't never going home. You here for the long haul. You might as well sit back, get your tray and find you a bunk, because you ain't leaving. And really, they can only hold you for 72 hours with no charges. And then get one of them to talk. Dolly going to break out the ninja moves. It wouldn't take a whole lot of ninja moves. Okay, like I said, I can walk in there with one propane torch, a soldering gun, and I guarantee you, when I step out the room, you would know where them kids were. I mean, you could give me one needle. One little needle. And I guarantee you, I could walk in the room with Daniel and come out and tell you where those kids were. Okay? A pin needle, just a regular, like a cushion, you stick in the little cushion, with a little round ball on the end. You could give me a thumbtack. One thumbtack and say, Dolly, we won't put you in prison. Now, I guarantee you, when I step out that room, I will know where them kids are. Just once somebody knows you ain't playing and that the outcome is going to be more than they could withstand, they're going to talk. They're going to talk. We just don't live in that time and era anymore. Now people just lawyer up and I ain't saying nothing and without the proof. And you can have, not to get all squirrely again, like there's all this proof against Karen Reed. And yet people are still screaming she's innocent. When there's overwhelming proof, this lady backed over her boyfriend. Overwhelming proof. People just don't want to hear it. They believe what they want to believe, no matter what. The evidence could hit you in the face and you just won't believe the evidence. Dolly, I shared Josie's video in the comments for you of this video. I mean, you could have sent it to my Facebook, you know, would have been good. Let's see. I wouldn't put this on your live. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, somebody sent it to me. I got it right here. And yeah, I'm not going to show their child. I think it's in bad taste to put the kid all over YouTube. Okay. I'll discuss it, but I'm not going to show the video. If you want to see the video, I'm sure you can find it, but we're going to keep it classy and not trashy. And I think if you're showing these people's kid up here on the internet like he's, I don't know. I just don't think it's a good look. Right? It's sad. It's sad. It's a sad situation. So why exploit that? Right? I feel bad for the kid. And think about this. He's got to go to school and make friends. And, you know, what happens when somebody goes, hey, man, I seen you on the internet. You know, I heard about your family on the internet. Oh, that's effed up. They did you like that. I seen it on the internet. Let's give this kid a fighting chance. That's what I say. You know, pray for Josie. And if you got a good home and want a kid, go scoop that little man up. Give him a good life. That's what he deserves. You know? So that thumbnail though, yeah. It's wow. Right? Wow. Now the people that did this, I could bitch at all day. Right? I understand it because he's an older child and it's hard to get older kids adopted. But wow, man. He ain't a puppy. He ain't a puppy. Right? He does deserve something though. And I know that they did this because of his age. You know, most people ain't taking 14-year-old kids. Most people, when they get together and a woman can't have a kid, they want a baby. They want somebody they could raise together, make them their own. And this kid will always know you ain't his parent. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean he won't love you like a parent. Even at 14, he wants somebody to love. You can tell from his conversation. He wants somebody to care that really cares about him so he can really care about them. He don't have that. And I think he would be a great kid for somebody. Just his personality. Like when you see him, he's happy. He's like, you know, if you wanted a child, he's big. You want a big ass, you need security. Josie's a big boy. Okay. He's a big boy. I thought he was a grown man. I was like, is that kid grown? How old is he? PJ's like, he's 14. I was like, this boy needs to be playing football. Okay. He is big. He may play for the damn Eagles one day or something. You know what I'm saying? The kid could be, you know, he's a linebacker material. He's huge. So Don's a pretty tall guy, pretty big guy, but Josie looks like he's going to be a lot thicker than Don Wells because, you know, Don Wells would probably be a big guy too if he didn't drink every day and smoke crack. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say that, but damn, you know, but, you know, let's just pray something good happens for the boy. And I think it will. Josie is the oldest full brother of Summer Wells, missing almost 4 years in June. Yes. For anybody that don't know who Josie is, that's who it is. I'm going to get ready to get out of here, guys. I've been here with y'all a couple hours. I've been busy today. We did 3 lives, 2 videos. So it's been a crazy day for me today. And I think I'm about done. I'm kind of tired and I want to watch a little bit of Netflix before I go to bed. So you guys be good, stay safe. And in the comment box down below, tell me what you guys think. With this new information coming out and people starting to speak, what do you think is going on with these kids? All right, let me know in the comment box down below. I read every comment. So I want to, you know, and it's hard for me to keep up with what you guys are saying in the side chat because it moves so fast. So definitely let me know what your opinion is on this case after this video ends. All right. And if you haven't, make sure you like the video. If you're watching out there ain't subbed up, Help us hit 67,000. We're on that road to 100K, and you can help me be there, right? You can help me get there. And remember, when you do something good for somebody, which I consider that good because I'm really trying my best to get that little sign on my wall that's worth $3, okay? Something good will happen for you. If you put good into the universe, good will come back, all right? And remember this, if nobody else loves you, Dolly does. Peace.